Let us discuss about vitamin E. Vitamin E. Vitamin E is a fat soluble vitamin. Fat soluble vitamin. Vitamin E is also called anti-sterility vitamin. It is also called anti-sterility vitamin. It is also called vitamin in search of disease. Okay, vitamin E is also called vitamin in search of disease. The reason why it is called so is because the deficiency of vitamin C is rarely seen in human beings, and moreover it is least toxic drug, so it is also called vitamin in search of disease. It is a natural occurring antioxidant. It is a natural antioxidant. We'll see why, the reason why it is antioxidant. What is the component of vitamin E that is responsible for vitamin E? You see, vitamin E is a name given to a group of tocopherols and tocotriols. It is a name given to group of tocopherols and tocotrienols. It is a name given to tocopherols and tocotrienols. Tocotrienols. There are almost eight types of tocopherols. They are named like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, like that. There are 8 different types of tocopherols. Among these 8 different types, alpha is most active one. Alpha is the most active one. This tocopherol is derived from 6-hydroxychromene. Tocopherol it is derived from 6-hydroxychromene. The 6-hydroxy which is there in 6-hydroxychromene is responsible for antioxidant property. It is responsible for antioxidant property. Okay, vitamin J is the name given to a group of tocopherols and tocotriols. In tocopherols, we have almost 8 different types. Among these, alpha is the most active one. These tocopherols, they are derived from 6-hydroxychromene. The 6-hydroxy group of 6-hydroxychromene is responsible for antioxidant property. And vitamin E is a lipophilic in nature, as it is lipid soluble, so it is lipophilic in nature. Next, see absorption, transport and storage. As it is lipophilic, so it is absorption will be along with fat. Fat is required for absorption, and bile salts are also needed for absorption. And liver, in liver, after transportation to liver, in liver it is incorporated in VLDL and LDL. Okay, usually as it is bile soluble, they require bile salt for their absorption. In the liver, this vitamin G will be incorporated into VLDL and LDL, and incorporating these into VLDL and LDL, and they get transported. After incorporation into VLDL and LDL, they are transported, and the storage is usually in is liver, muscle and adipose tissue. The storage of vitamin G is in liver, muscle and adipose tissue. Let us see the biochemical functions. biochemical functions. See, the function of vitamin G is related to its antioxidant property. This antioxidant property will be utilized in different functions of the body. So the functions of vitamin G, they are related to antioxidant property. As I already told you, the antioxidant property is due to 6-hydroxy group of 6-hydroxychromium. The function is related to antioxidant property. The antioxidant property, what it does is it prevents non-enzymatic oxidation of various cell components. So usually oxidation of cellular components will be done by peroxides, hydrogen, superoxide, peroxides. All this, what they do is they cause oxidation of various cellular components. These things, they cause oxidation of various cellular components, right? This oxidation, this oxidation will be prevented by vitamin G. Prevented by vitamin E. And in antioxidant function, selenium will also help in antioxidant functions, because this selenium, it is a component in glutathione peroxidase. Okay, it is a component in glutathione peroxidase. That's the reason why it also helps in antioxidant function, because glutathione peroxidase is also helpful in antioxidant functions. As this selenium is a component in glutathione peroxidase, there will be additive value to the function of vitamin G. Okay, then especially it prevents the oxidation of polyunsaturated fatty acids. Remember this. Okay, prevents oxidation of polyunsaturated fatty acids. Simply PUBA. So as I told you, selenium helps in antioxidant function, and it prevents oxidation of polyunsaturated fatty acids, and it is essential for membrane structure. So if you go into the in detail, as I already told you, various cellular components will be protected from oxidation, right? So this vitamin G is essential for membrane structure and integrity. Essential for membrane structure and integrity. And it as it is preventing the oxidation of cell membrane components, it is also called membrane antioxidant. Membrane antioxidant. Vitamin E is also called membrane antioxidant because it is required for maintenance of the structure of membrane and also for integrity of cell membrane. And also it prevents hemolysis. That means breakdown of RBC. Let us see how it prevents breakdown of RBC. See, this RBC will be acted upon by various oxidant agents. Will be acted upon by various various oxidants, and this oxidant will cause hemolysis. So this vitamin G E, it prevents this oxidation by these agents, hence it prevents hemolysis. And one more function is vitamin G preserves and maintains germinal epithelium. germinal epithelium, as all of us know, this germinal epithelium will be protected by vitamin G, we can say. Okay, as germinal epithelium is very important for reproduction, right? So this vitamin G is associated with some reproductive function because it is preventing or protecting germinal epithelium from oxidation. Hence, it is useful in some reproductive functions. Then it also increases heme synthesis. Heme synthesis increases heme synthesis because this vitamin G, it enhances the activity of enzymes involved in synthesis of heme. The enzymes are alpha alpha alanine alpha amino levulinic acid, ALE. Okay, alpha amino levulinic acid synthase is the enzyme which is involved in heme synthesis. This enzyme activity will be increased by vitamin G. ALA, it is an enzyme called alpha amino levulinic acid synthase. This activity is increased by vitamin G. Hence it also increases the synthesis of heme. Another one more function is it is required for cellular respiration. Required for cellular respiration because it is required for cellular respiration through electron transport chain because it stabilizes the coenzyme Q. Vitamin G, it stabilizes coenzyme Q. Thereby it is required for cellular respiration. Then vitamin G prevents the oxidation of vitamin J and keratin. Prevents the oxidation of vitamin J and keratin. Vitamin G is needed for optimal absorption of amino acids from intestine. It is required for optimal absorption of amino acids from intestine. It is also involved in proper synthesis of nucleic acid. For proper synthesis of nucleic acids. Nucleic acids in the sense RNA and DNA. It also protects liver from damage caused by toxic components like carbon tetrachloride. Vitamin E also protects liver from damage caused by some chemical compounds like carbon tetrachloride. Protects liver from damage caused by some toxic compounds like carbon tetrachloride. It works in association with some other antioxidants like vitamin A, beta carotene. Okay, it works in association with some other antioxidants like vitamin A, carotene. So by working along with in pair with these vitamins, it delays the onset of cataract. Delays the onset of cataract. Okay, it functions along with vitamin A and beta carotene and delays the onset of keratin. And vitamin E has been recommended to prevent the prevention of some chronic diseases like cancer and heart disease. But this recommendation is no more used today because in clinical trials there is no such correlation has been found. Usually they thought that this vitamin E has been recommended for prevention of chronic diseases. They thought that this vitamin E will prevent some chronic diseases like cancer and heart disease, but no such correlation has been found. And next moving to RDA, recommended dietary allowances. The requirements of vitamin E is directly proportional to the amount of polyunsaturated fatty acids that we are taking. Okay. This RDA is directly proportional to amount of polyunsaturated fatty acid that we are taking. So usually the recommended dietary allowances for male is 10 milligrams, whereas for female it is 8 milligrams. 8 milligrams. And then moving to dietary sources. Usually vegetative oils are a rich source of vitamin E. Vegetable oils. Usually the vegetable oils are wheat germ oil, wheat germ oil, cottonseed oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oils, sunflower oil. Others include meat, milk, butter, eggs. Even these are also good source of vitamin E. There, meat, milk, butter. So especially what we need to remember is the rich source of vitamin E is from vegetable oil. That you must keep in our mind. Okay. Then moving to deficiency symptoms. I already told you that this vitamin E deficiency is rarely seen. Deficiency symptom. If deficiency occurs, what will be the symptoms? Usually in animals, it is also, when there is deficiency of vitamin E, there is usually sterility is seen. In animals, sterility is seen due to deficiency of vitamin E, and some degenerative changes in muscle also seen. Degenerative changes in muscle, degenerative changes in muscle, and megaloblastic anemia seen. Megaloblastic anemia and changes in central nervous system is also seen. And there is also in humans what is seen is increased fragility of erythrocytes. Increased fragility of, I already told you, vitamin E prevents hemolysis. So when there is deficiency of vitamin E, there will be increased fragility of RBC, and there are such minor neurological symptoms also seen. Minor neurological symptoms. These are the various deficiency symptoms. And the final point is, as I already told you, toxicity is also least with this vitamin E, and deficiency is also very least. Vitamin E is, and the last sentence is, it is least toxic. Least toxic when compared to other vitamins. Among fat soluble vitamins, vitamin E is the least toxic. Among fat soluble vitamins.